Kendrick Davis. Woo.
Kendrick Davis just too quick.
That's Kendrick Davis.
Holt puts a lid on it, an emphatic style.
This guy has been absolute shining light for Brisbane at the back end of what's been a dark season.
The final night of the Hungry Jacks NBL regular season starts in the River City. They call it Bris Vegas, where the home team is out of chips tonight at the table with the High Rollers. That's right, the Sydney Kings are on a 10-game winning streak. The home team on a 12-game skid. It looks like a mismatch, but in pro sport, anything can happen. We are at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, Boondall, just north of the city, and the Mitsubishi Motors ladder still has a bit to work out. Can Sydney finish top later on? Perth and Adelaide are yet to learn their final positions. Brian Goorjian is hell-bent on winning the regular season championship. I'm Matt Russell. Ariana Prathis is joining us. Derek Rucker, Aaron Baines' men, Gorge's men, the Kings. So good to watch, and partly because of Kendrick Davis. How good are the Kings travelling, D-Ruck?
Well, they're on a 16-2 run, Matty, so you would say it's been one of the best runs in NBL history. And Brian Goorjian's been on a lot of runs throughout his career, but I'm not sure anyone has surpassed this, and definitely he has not had a player as dynamic as Kendrick Davis in a long, long time. Davis has just been outstanding. Look at the numbers, 24-4 and almost 7 dimes per. But over the past 7 to 8 rounds, Bainesy, I'm not sure that he has even been close to being stopped out there on the basketball court. I don't think there's anyone in the league that can keep him in front of them.
Yeah, it's a definite challenge, especially the teams that get up and pressure. He finds his way by. But you talked about their run. In recent years, it reminds me, it's reminiscent of one of the banners that hangs up in here with 07. The Bullets team, they finished on a 20-game win streak. It's not quite that level, but that's what led to a championship. You want to be hot at the right time, and Sydney are that right now.
The Bullets champions in 85, 87, and that remarkable 07 campaign as well. What does Kendrick have in store for us tonight? What does Darryl McDonald do for his team? How can he lift the Bullets, who have to contend with a milestone man tonight? Xavier Cooks, NBL game 150. His last 5 outings, he's been 15 points per game at 70%, 6.5 boards, 2.5 dimes, 1.5 blocks. His timing seems perfect, Derek.
He slots ideally into this Kings lineup. He's got extra leadership around him in Matthew Dellavedova. He's got a high-level player in Kendrick Davis around him, and then they've got outstanding support and role players. Galloway, Suarez, they all make a good contribution, and that allows Xavier Cooks to be one of the elite utility players in the league.
Yeah, definitely. And what else they do is they provide him with floor stretching. They give him a lot of space to do what he does down there in the paint. He can get the ball and drive down, and he knows that guys are going to spread out around him. He can find a lane to the rim, or he can kick it out to a shooter that it's a big enough threat that help side doesn't want to be there. You see Zave go in and punch it and finish it strong a lot of the time.
In the middle of that huddle, Hunter Maldonado, ex-Southeast Melbourne. This is his 10th game as a Brisbane Bullet, and his numbers are good, Derek, since coming here. Will he stay?
Well, that remains up to the next head coach here at Brisbane, but if I was Hunter Maldonado, I would ask Darryl McDonald for the assignment on Kendrick Davis and try my best to shut him down and outplay him in this one. Maldonado is great putting the ball on the floor. He reminds me a bit of Jason Kidd, Bainesy, and all he's got to do is add a solid jump shot to his game, and I think he could be a very impactful player if he gets another opportunity here in the NBL.
Yeah, I definitely like what you said about him wanting to call the number for KD. That's where he needs to play the smart style. He's not going to be able to keep up foot speed-wise, but he's a bigger guard. He can create problems for KD to finish when he gets down low. He just has to play the smart game and force him to take those outside mid-range shots on KD and keep him outside of the paint. That's where KD builds his game from so often. Is he's an outside threat, yes, but he gets to the rim so easy and so quickly that so many times that rim gets a lot bigger.
I enjoyed watching the Prather family explore the Gold Coast in preparation for the Ignite Cup, but Ariana, you got some X factors for us right now.
That's right, Matt. Happy to have you here with us. But my X factor Factors for tonight, starting off with the Brisbane Bullets, Tyrell Harrison. He had his first game back against Perth. Now he's back on his home court. Let's just face it, when he's in the game, he impacts it. He is one of the best big men in the NBL when he plays to his fullest potential, and I think he will do that tonight. And for the Sydney Kings, it is very vital that they have a player like Kawhi Noy who can come off of the bench and come into the game and immediately impact it. He can knock it down from deep. He can drive to the basket. He just knows good basketball. So Kawhi Noy and Tyrell Harrison, my two X Factors for tonight, guys.
Thank you, Ariana. We've got the starting fives to whip through for the Bullets. Tane Murray back in the starting five. Alex Dukas to come off the bench. Jalen Galloway is out for Sydney with a shoulder twinge, so Torrey Craig starts for the first time in his 8-game Kings career. And Jason Spurgeon back on the bench for Sydney, his first game of the season, out for 6 months since injuring his foot in the pre-season campaign. So it's been a long way back for young Jason. Well done to him. There are your starting fives, and we are almost set to go on this, the last night of the regular season. Let's close the curtain before the finals. Brisbane v Sydney into Perth against Adelaide. Who gets first? Who gets fourth? Who gets fifth? You'll find out over the next few hours. Thanks for your company. We start in Brisbane. And the tip is won by the home team. Hunter Maldonado, can he keep the numbers coming? Will open the scoring. Bright, brisk start from the Bullets.
He's quick, he's strong, and when he penetrates, does a great job of slicing, can finish with either hand. Great start there by Maldonado for the Bullets.
Off an 18-point game, McQuatch Malawatch fires inaccurately. And we'll go Brisbane's way here.
See a bit of a zone look there by Brisbane and forcing Sydney into an early outside shot. They like to build from the inside out as well. So it's check one for D-Mac with that zone to start the game.
Since Hunter Maldonado has arrived in Brisbane, he's averaging 17 points at 42%, 4 boards, 5 assists, which have him top 10 in the league. Here's Terry Taylor from outside, leaving it short. Suarez, a strong rebound.
Just what Derek asked for as well. Terry Taylor to step in and shoot the ball. There's nothing to lose.
Torrey Craig, off a couple of quieter games, returned with a burst to the NBL after so much success in the States. Back to Tim Suarez, Aaron, who got that last rebound for Sydney. Super consistent this year, and his 3 performances against the Bullets. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 14 and 7, 14 and 6. He has been a picture of consistency, the Sydney big man.
What he has done is given Sydney speed. I'm still to see another big keep up with him and getting down the floor. He gets down as quick as he can and he puts pressure on the rim, collapses defenses, and lets this Sydney team really do their thing on the offensive end. As we see there, he's out there running with Zabe. You're going to look and see that from Suarez all night, which is what impresses me about him most, is that motor to keep on running down the floor and create those opportunities for other players on his team as well as himself.
Tane Murray ran into trouble for Brisbane, came up with a turnover, and Sydney cash in through Xavier Cooks. His last 5 games, really good for Xavier, celebrating game 150 tonight in the NBL. Brisbane rotate the ball and find Holt, as you touched on pre-game, men selected in the Boomers' next World Cup squad, or World Cup qualifying squad.
And that's the question mark about Maldonado. Can he shoot that basketball? Hey, Murray says, don't worry about Maldonado. I got him covered. Knocks one down from deep.
Dropping the 3 ball at 31%, and at 100% at the rim. Xavier Cooks cannot be given opportunities like that.
D-Mac irate with his team. They knock down a 3 on the other end, and they basically give up a dunk off of a made bucket in transition. Good job here. Tane Murray lined that one up. Now there's no reason why Cooks should get a clear run to the rim like that for a 2-hand flush.
Confusion in what defense were they playing. Were they in zone? Were they in man? You didn't see enough communication between the players. And to me, yes, Xavier Cooks, it's amazing that he's played 150 games here. A player of his caliber staying in Australia, that's something we didn't see a decade ago. That's awesome to me that we're able to keep local talent down here for long enough, because you see how he impacts the game. I mean, he's got a second jump like no one else in this league. He is so quick off the floor, and he puts pressure on the rim like we just saw there in transition.
15 points per game over his last 5 outings, Derek, at 70%, 6.5 boards. There are assists, there are blocks, and he's been nominated as Defensive Player of the Year. Would that have surprised you at the start of the season?
Not at all, because he's one of the best two-way players. And this is why he's so valuable, in addition to the things that Bainesy just highlighted. And in this second half of the season, he's just really gotten back to who he is. He can cover so many different positions on the floor. And right there, he gets his hand on the ball, which leads to a steal.
Case in point, on cue, perfect timing. Xavier Cooks, and then the foul will be called on Tane Murray. So we'll catch our breath after the first 2.5 minutes. Brisbane ahead narrowly.
And the other thing about Xavier Cooks, Aaron, is that he's starting to make his free throws. And that's particularly important as we get into the postseason, where free throw shooting, offensive rebounds, and turnovers are vital.
Yeah, definitely. In a series, you know, that's what coaches are going to look to try and take advantage of, is players in those situations. As you see Torrey Craig cut along the baseline there, and just the Bullets are struggling to keep anyone in front of them right now, especially when you've got a threat like Davis on the offensive end. There's so much attention on him, it opens up for everyone else.
But just such a risky trap out on the floor, and no real advantage created from a defensive perspective, and Suarez catches it in the high post. He's such a good passer, and this is just a really high basketball IQ team, the Sydney Kings, and they probably don't get the proper amount of respect for that.
Yeah, well, you see it in their coaching staff, right? You see Gorgon goes without doubt, you know, he's one of the best coaches Australia's ever had down here, but you see it in Bogut as well. He was one of the smartest basketball players to play the game, and they've got the advantage of having him there coaching these bigs. So that's where Suarez can really take that step by learning from Bogut.
Everywhere you look, Sydney Kings, a strong setup. Holt had work to do and gets it done.
Bainesy, obviously I didn't play in the paint like you did, but I love a big man who, his body seems heavy. Everything seems heavy when he hits defenders, but yet he moves with a lightness.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's not afraid to use his body to put himself in an advantage and get an advantageous position, which that's the end of the game. You've got to be able to do that as a big and carve out your space. The NBL reffing has changed over the last couple of years, especially this season. There's a lot more contact allowed to be created, and Holt's been on the advantage of that, on the, you know, being able to go in there and be more physical.
The bucket from Malawatch, followed by the miss from Norton. Kendrick Davis puts it on the floor, gets to the backboard, and one for KD. The man who's been to 20 points plus his last 9 outings. Wow. How many does he go for this evening?
Well, that's a good start right there. He's been relatively quiet thus far. And when he gets that ball in his left hand in transition, that's a tough assignment for Mitch Norton. Somebody's got to step in that lane, force that pass to the corner. You'll live with that rather than KD trying to get on the rim and draw contact. He's so good at finishing.
Aaron, KD against Brisbane this year, 19 points and 8 assists is his average. Last game, it was 23 points and 10 dimes.
Yeah, well, he's looking like he might be repeating that right now, just with the way he's setting up all the players around him.
Yeah.
And like Derek said, Mitch Norton coming down, it's against the rules to help off the strong side in the corner, but I mean, you've got the would-be MVP and Davis coming full steam down. Here we are with Tyrell with a nice left-hand finish. I'd love to see that, collapse that paint for the rest of the Bullets.
Harrison has his first points of the night. Maldonado grabs a rebound. Harrison just a little quiet over his last couple of games. Does he get back to that double-figure points average this season tonight? Taylor. Oh, off the glass, the turnaround.
He's awkward, but he's a scorer. And Terry Taylor gets a nice little finish there. The Bullets doing a good job in this first half of the first quarter. Noy.
Three ball hasn't been falling as Quat would have liked over the last 3 games.
Whoa.
And there's a tip in, an accidental bucket from Tyrell Harrison. Who cares how they come? Davis, bottom of the net again.
Bainsey's so quick and compact and tight with the dribble. Just a nightmare to defend in space.
Exactly. So the Bullets are trying to change up the different looks for him. But you see right there, Tyrell had his hand down. He's got to try and carry that high hand to take that view away. As soon as Davis sees where the rim is, he's not going to forget.
Craig for Dellavedova. Now Suarez misses, but Dukas grabs a strong rebound. I enjoyed your chat regarding Dukas pre-game, men. Derek, you wanted a bit more from him. Aaron, you thought there might be an injury at play there. What more can you tell us about the little niggle for Dukas?
Oh, I don't know exactly what it is, but you just see he's not at full potential. He's got a bit of a limp.
That's a very fortunate tip-in right there by Harrison. Nordo threw it and immediately realized that might be too high. But the big 7-footer guides it in. But Bainsey, your comments about Dukas were on point, and that's why open, respectful discussion is so good, because no one's ever absolutely right in this game of basketball when we're discussing opinions.
No, definitely. You know, sitting outside the locker room, we don't know exactly what's going on in there. But like I said, he's always competing. He's always trying to do what he can to support his team, even if he's not in the best position physically. So, you know, it's a credit to him, but also a testament to what the Brisbane Bullets have been through this year in injuries and personnel.
Bainsey, it's starting to get a bit easy for Kendrick Davis. That's 7 points on 3 of 3 shooting.
Torrey, Smith, Milner from outside. The big man shows us his range again.
Unfortunately, we've seen a few players have some really high percentage games against the Bullets in recent times as well. So, you know, Davis wouldn't be alone in getting to double figures, perfect scoring-wise, in recent history if he does manage to get there.
Smith Milner having sunk his 14th three of the campaign. He's 14 of 59.
And the Bullets with a big man who can pass in their own respect.
Dukas goes straight back to Hunter Maldonado, who thought about doubling down, but goes to Davis, who'll draw the foul.
I've sung Tristan Devers' praise all season. Like the way he goes about his business, plays hard. Smith Milner, that's bread and butter right there for him. And Harrison, very underrated passer from the high post. Gets a cutting Maldonado. Bullets up 4, going to the line to shoot 2. Brian Goorjian just a little bit concerned, hasn't quite pressed any buttons over there yet.
The NBL is teamed with Disney Plus to give you the chance to win one of 10 12-month Disney Plus subscriptions. Download the free NBL app via the QR code on screen there, or at the website nbl.com.au. Follow the prompts, it's that easy.
Derek, we looked at your scorecard earlier in the pregame. What does one need to do to get into that A bracket? you're a tough judge in terms of grading.
Okay, young players who are A's. Karim Lopez.
That's it. That's a list.
Well, that's the one that just came to my mind, Aaron. I'm still trying to watch the game while I think it through.
Hunter Maldonado, I'll give you some thinking time. Here's Smith Milner again, lining up for his second bomb that this time misses. But they get the offensive rebound. 21-15, a 6-point break to the home team. Dukas fires away and splashes 3.
Love to see that for Dukas from the start. It's a good look. The Bullets are getting those second possessions, and Sydney gorgeous and happy.
Kendrick Davis will improve his mood somewhat, Aaron.
It's good when you have a guy like that on your team, right? What is it, 4 for 4 now?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we did see the Kings fall down by 20-plus points in the first half up in Cairns. They were not faring well in the first half up in far north Queensland, but Davis scored enough in the first half to keep things ticking over until they absolutely put a tidal wave on him in the second half.
If this was a boxing bout, it might not have been sanctioned, Derek. A team on a 10-game winning streak, the opponent's on a 12-game losing streak. It's first against last, but Dukas says, I've got no mind for the script at all. We want to lead before it's cut by Kendrick. Kings beating Brisbane 3 times heavily this season. Holt at the rack, his range, and he retreats with points.
I love the organization and the purpose on the offensive end that I'm seeing from the Bullets, and they're just playing this junk it up defense as Robertson tests it, knocks it down, nothing but nylon. He's like, I dare you guys to do it again.
That's a tough one. Tyler Robinson out there against the 1-2-2 zone with Smith Milner on his side. It's a lot of ground to cover against Robinson, who's really being able to knock down some shots. And it's a good sign for him that this point of the season, he wants a big game to find some consistency and some confidence rolling into the playoffs.
Tyler Robinson off a scoreless game against Perth, but he has shown when needed he can come up with key roles. Turnover is fielded by Purchase. And it's Brisbane by 5. The veteran Norton steering the ship in what has been a wretched season for Brisbane. Again, you summed it up beautifully pre-game, man, along with Ariana, the coaching carousel, the player movement, of course the injuries. There are lots of excuses, but they're not going to use any tonight. They want to take down the team on top of the table and finish their season with a bang.
Kendrick Davis thought he got this one clean. Now, it wasn't necessarily clean, but it wasn't as egregious as the referee explained to Davis.
There was the contact after he got the ball. So I agree with both. He did get all ball, but he got the chest after.
Norton fires successfully from outside.
Bullets already have knocked down 4 threes.
Now Xavier draws the foul. Each time Brisbane have landed a big blow, there's been a quick response from Sydney.
And if Brisbane want any chance of pulling off this highly improbable upset, they can't allow the easy opportunities after they knock down a big shot like we just saw them. At least make the Kings go through offense. But the quick scores will just build the Kings' confidence and momentum.
Xavier would love a good game at the line, Derek, before the finals. You touched on his improved shooting there, but he's still into this game 56 of 117 at the line for the season. So a really rock-solid night throwing freebies this evening. Just the boost before the big games around the corner.
Got to get it up.
29-24. Murray does that in time. Hunter Maldonado puts a move on Dellavedova and comes away with points. Maldonado goes to 6 points for the game on 3 of 4. Davis elevates. The mid-range jumper never looked like missing.
Can't miss. 5 of 5 from the field, 2 assists, playing almost a perfect game.
It's not the look I'd be trying to give him is have the big sit back in the paint there and the drop. You want to try and get the ball out of his hand as often as you can.
Maldonado again.
Right now, it's evident, Bainesy, that Jalen Galloway has missed on the defensive end. He'd be a good matchup to try and control Maldonado.
The Kings will be disappointed to give up 33 points to the lowest scoring team in the comp. And as a result, the Brisbane Bullets head into quarter time with a 7-point lead. Who cares about the form guide, says Darryl McDonald. We're in front of the first quarter, and that's where we want to stay. Now, thanks to Bunnings, young hoopers get closer to the action than ever before. Bunnings courtside access delivers epic NBL game day experiences across Australia and New Zealand, giving the next generation unforgettable money can't buy moments with every team. Bunnings courtside access, backing the next generation of ballers.
Brisbane Bullets basketball. Congratulations. We're also going to give you a couple of hats. Oh, you guys have got stuff. We'll give you some more. Construction Pathways. A journey for you if you want to finish school and start building some stadiums for us for the Olympics.
Johnny, we've still got a minute 10. We can go again. Ladies and gentlemen, your boys, great first quarter. They lead 33-26. When I say Brisbane, you say Bullets. Brisbane! Okay, we could do much better than that. Brisbane! 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 Oh yeah, second quarter coming up. Keep the energy up, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, where the Bullets have a 7-point lead over the top of the ladder in the Sydney Kings. I was listening in to head coach Brian Goorjian during that last timeout, and he told his team they need to work on reading the defense better on offense. He said, I know it's going to be a fight, I know it's going to be a battle, but let's get some good shots offensively. And on the defensive end, he said, stop going under on the ball screens because they're knocking down their shots from deep. Guys.
Good on you, Ariana. Brisbane equaling their highest scoring first quarter of the season, 33 points, and not too far from inflicting the biggest total on the Kings in a first quarter. That is 35. They were only 2 points adrift of that, but the Bullets might feel a bit like Roy Schneider on that boat in Jaws. They're being stalked by a big fish because Kendrick Davis, 12 points, 5 of 5. He looks like he's set for something big again, Derek.
Yeah, and a good start by the Bullets. And they're 4 of 8 from the three-point line. And they had done a good job of looking after the basketball before actually committing 2 on that last play phase. But they're dominating the glass. And if they can continue to kind of provide a bit of confusion on this end with this junky zone.
Torrey Craig finds the net.
He's had a few open looks and he's been able to zone in on where the rim is, but you've seen what Malawas did there coming out of the quarter time is really pick up Maldonado. That's what you mentioned. It's Sydney, do they have a guy to guard him? And Malawas is stepping up right now.
Hunter Maldonado gives it plenty of air. Misses the mark.
Well, you see Torrey Craig on that possession went more of a denial and didn't let Maldonado get the ball back. Nice steal there by Tane Murray.
Terry Taylor. As I mentioned, a couple of games back, 25 points. Game before that, he had 10 rebounds. He can contribute, the American. And there's Kendrick Davis, speaking of Americans.
Yeah, he can contribute pretty well. He's got 2 hands as well, whereas Terry, we mostly see that left hand finish. I don't know if Sydney scouted that because every point again tonight from that left hand.
Well, if this game stays close or within 15 points, no disrespect to the Bullets, Kendrick Davis is going to have at least 40.
Well, so far, Kendrick Davis in his outings against Brisbane has done really, really well. That last outing, as I mentioned earlier, 23 points, 10 assists, but he's got many more than 23 in mind tonight. The voice of NBL MVP and 400 gamer Derek Rucker alongside NBA championship winner and NBA 500 gamer Aaron Baines. We're spoiled in commentary tonight. Casey Prather in the house with Ariana, who's sidelined for us as well tonight.
And we see who's mixing up there on the defensive end again. Malawach in there, creating turnovers for the Kings.
It's the first of a Friday doubleheader. The final games of the regular season. Torrey Craig is looking at the postseason.
I mean, he's not looking too bad for a player they added 8 games ago, right? He's coming in here. He's got that NBL experience, which so many guys take a few games, even half a season to warm into the NBL style of play, but he's able to step in right away because he's done it before.
And real easy on the Amy replay. Little penetration, wasn't even anything forceful or threatening. They just kick it out. 3-ball by Craig.
I'll come back to Tori in a moment as we see Brisbane draw the foul. They'll get to the line. It'll be Divas going there. You mentioned Tory Craig and his NBA experience, 538 games stateside, Aaron. You played more than 500 games in the NBA and came back to finish your career as a Brisbane Bullet. How big a transition was it for you?
Yeah, it's a completely different style of game, right? So the NBA is built on guys that can do things that most can't. And they're all outliers, and then there's outliers within those outliers. So trying to become a student of the game really helped me over there, whereas over here, a lot of the players are students of the game, and so it's a smarter game. The athleticism is removed in some ways, but you have to play the game of basketball. That's where I learned the game of basketball as a pro over in Europe, which was helpful for me, as we see Kendrick Davis just get downhill so easily against this defense. It's a problem for Brisbane, but yeah, being able to come out of the NBA and, like I said, he started his professional season overseas, so it's a good advantage to him and the Kings to add a player like that, because it is a lot different, and it's a smarter game to play down here in the NBL, I think. That's what the FIBA game is in general, a smarter game.
Well, at least you kept the private jet travel consistent when you got here.
I don't know what you're talking about. There was none of that for me.
Your European basketball, Slovenia, Germany, Greece. What have I left out there, Aaron?
Lithuania.
Lithuania, there you go.
There we go.
Another
Derek was just talking about one of his visits he had to over there.
Dukas misses, rebounded by Tory Craig, the man who started this conversation, having ignited his career down under, gone to America, and here he is back in Australia as a Sydney King. And it's his teammates losing the ball baseline, Brisbane possession.
And finally, Kendrick Davis misses a shot. 17 points. 3 dimes, 7 of 8 from the field. Not even halfway through the second quarter.
Terry Taylor, left hand, high off the glass, tough bucket made to look easy.
Yeah, they look good getting down the rim right now, but it's this other end. Kendrick's just being able to come down and do what he wants at will. It's got to be the whole team's got to step up and build a wall against him. It can't be his man only. Every time he sees a one-on-one matchup, he thinks it's his advantage. He knows it's his advantage. He's going to get downhill on the rim.
Get a big discount on the Hungry Jacks NBL Ignite Cup final tickets presented by Disney+. You can see Adelaide and New Zealand go at it on Sunday. Who's going to pick up the $300,000 winner's purse? Scan the QR code, get your tickets that way or through Ticketek. We'll see you on Sunday on the Gold Coast.
Can't wait to check that one out. The Breakers coming off a strong victory. Got some guys back. Turnover, Terry Taylor.
McWatch, Malawatch. Dumps 2. And we'll have a Tangerine timeout called by Darryl McDonald. His team worked so hard for a first quarter lead. They've coughed it up early in the second.
Well, that's 4 turnovers in just under 4 minutes of play in this second quarter, all leading to really good opportunities by the Sydney Kings. Now the Kings up 4. We'll see what the Bullets are really made of.
Xavier Cook started the game with a bang, 100% shooting, 7 points in his 150th. He spoke pre-game with Ariana.
Game 150 for you, wearing a Kings uniform in the NBL. How rewarding has your time been?
It's been huge. I think it's a huge honor and a huge privilege to be able to play 150 games in this league. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to dream of playing 1 game, and 150 games later, here I am. So it's pretty cool.
What's the biggest learning lesson you've taken from 150 games?
Don't get too high on the highs and don't get too low on the lows.
That's a good one. Now, you guys are currently sitting at the top of the ladder. How important is it for you guys to win this game on the road, finish on top, and beat the Bullets tonight?
It's huge, especially coming into the playoffs and the way the dynamics of the playoffs this year. I've been around this league long enough. I know you can't really count out this last place team like that. I think they're a really dangerous team, and we're going to take them pretty serious.
I think that's one thing I've learned during my short time with the NBL is you can't count anyone out. So what are the keys for winning against the Bullets?
I think collapsing the court and making him shoot the ball, keeping him in the half court is going to be tough, but at the other end, just give the ball to KD and let him do his thing.
Now, who do you got for MVP this season?
My man, KD.
He looks nice and relaxed. He's playing good basketball. Game 150. Derek, you played 411. When you chat with Xavier pre-game, did you say, you've still got a fair way to go, son?
No, I told him that I thought his dad was a better player. He wasn't willing to believe me. But in all seriousness, just a high-character person, Xavier Cooks. You can see it in the way he plays basketball. Good family. And, of course, his dad was a very good player in his days in the NBL.
Yeah, g'day to Eric, serving the Hawks magnificently as player and coach. And there's Kendrick Davis again, 43-37. He and Bryce Cotton getting plenty of mentions. It was debated the MVP race for weeks. So Kendrick in action on closing night of the regular season. Not Bryce, he's resting for Adelaide in the game to come, saving himself for Sunday's Ignite Cup final and then the post-season. What was your reaction when you heard that news, men, that Bryce will rest this evening?
It made sense to me. There's no real upside for Bryce Cotton playing in this game. And considering the travel they have to take tomorrow, why not rest him up, let him eat some good meals, and get ready to go get that cash on Sunday?
He's still played the most minutes in the league this year, right?
Yep.
Even without the game.
Yep.
So it's not as if he hasn't earned it.
And did I hear that the MVP votes are already in?
They're due officially, I believe, at midnight tonight. But yes, my votes were lodged earlier this week, Matty.
We still had games to go. There's Taylor missing.
When you know, Matty.
You don't run the Melbourne Cup over 3,100 metres. You wait until the finishing post to declare the winner.
That's too far. Derek's all about a sprint.
Robertson, the runner, off the mark. Oh, I hope the votes aren't in yet. You got to wait until the finish line, surely, as Hunter Maldonado spins in the keyway, finds Tyrell Harrison, who finds the bottom of the basket.
Nice little fight back here from the Bullets.
What's scary for the rest of the league and what Sydney do is their bench unit came in and they changed the game. They had Malawaj start on the defensive end, which is where they've been so good in being able to separate themselves. He changed the tone for them. That's where they got this little lead from, is that energy coming in off the bench. Those number of guys that can put the ball through the hoop as well as this single guy here that keeps finding a way to knock it down and create easy looks for himself.
I liked your reaction, Derek. It said a lot.
Well, nothing but respect. And he's got all the shots. Plays hard on the defensive end of the floor. He can penetrate. He can set his teammates up.
Maldonado fires and hits. But back to KD, Derek, you were a great scorer to sit back and go, wow, you as a great shooter watching a modern day great go about his business. Here he is again. Swatted away, though, by Terry Taylor.
I don't think he listened to Gorge about going over on the screens, right? That's what Ariana told us. Gorge said, go over on the screens because they're hitting them.
Taylor gets the rebound from the Holt miss and finds an open Maldonado. Hunter Maldonado. Timeout the Sydney Kings. A good fight back by Brisbane to level terms.
Well, they're 6 of 15 from the three-point line. And Maldonado, not known as a three-ball artist, has knocked down a couple of threes in this quarter. The stroke looks fine to me, Bainesy. I just think it's a matter of getting reps in and understanding for him to go to the next level. This is an area that must become much stronger.
A little bit of confidence and no pressure is a hell of a thing, right? It's always a dangerous combination when you're first place coming up against the last place team on the last night of the season.
Hunter Maldonado leads Brisbane on 6 of 9 shooting with 14 points, but look at the man on top there. He's raced past 20 for a 10th consecutive outing, and right here, right now, he has to be looking at a 50-piece.
Well, if you extrapolate it out, you know, one could say he could be looking at a 60-piece.
You got your word of the day in. Congratulations.
Now, Aaron and Derek, tell me, how many minutes do you expect that man on screen to play tonight? There's a long break coming up after this. We have the FIBA break. Sydney, if they go on with the job, will be your regular season champions and won't be seen until the semi-final series after the playing game. So that's the best part of 2-3 weeks.
This is a function of the score. And as long as this game is competitive, he's going to be on the floor.
And scoring as he goes to 25, Ariana Prather.
Hey guys, I was listening in to Coach Brian Goorjian during that last timeout, and he told his team, look, when we get the lead, you guys take your foot off the gas pedal and allow them back into this game. He's just not happy with his team's effort. He feels like as soon as they regain the lead, they kind of let go on defense, their key principles that they want to focus on. So keep the foot on the gas. That was on your whiteboard, wasn't it, Derek?
It certainly was. I said step on the throat, but first they had to find it, and right now they can't because the Bullets have knocked down 7 threes. Cooks, quick, slicing, finishing. Entertaining game, Bainesy.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's great that we see Terry Taylor stepping up and knocking down shots. He called for it over the last few games, and yeah, Maldonado, you said at the start of the game he needs to knock down shots. I would love to see Dukas knock down another one.
Instead, it's a defensive rebound for Xavier Cooks. Here's Dellavedova outside for Davis. Brian Goorjian coaching game 866. Back to Ariana's timeout information. He says his biggest fear is complacency. The team would ease through a game or a couple of games back end of the season. We haven't seen it yet, but maybe he's just caught a glimpse of it in game and said, nah, it ends here. They're ahead by 1.
Both teams are shooting at a blistering pace. The Bullets almost 60%. The Kings just behind them at 58.
Many people expected Sydney to win this 20 points plus. I think the bookies had it more than 22-point victory for the Kings. As Cooks goes to Craig. Little scoop shot underneath the bucket.
Torrey Craig must be loving playing with this team. All the shots he gets are high quality. Wide open threes.
Yeah.
Dunks in transition.
Wide open, and he's had a few of those.
Foul from Craig as he tried to trap Norton, his own side of halfway. 51-48 inside the final 2 of the first half. So Sydney on track for triple figures yet again, a 10th game in a row. But they're giving up too many points for their coach's liking.
Well, Brian Goorjian just alerted Torrey Craig that he has 2 fouls. To be smart, guarding Maldonado.
And one thing we do know is you've got to be in the top 4 in defense here to win in the NBL, right? Their defense is not in the top 4.
Oh! Hunter Maldonado tried to jam one home and caught too much of the iron, something that Xavier Cooks avoids.
Yeah.
Kendrick Davis it was.
David avoids a lot of rim. Everything's going straight through right now, and yeah, it's interesting to see just how easy it is for him as he's finding that downhill speed and penetration and gets it in there. As we see the Bullets go back inside, can't quite draw anything there, but then you've got this man as well pushing the ball down, picking up the pace that Sydney want to play at.
Strong rebound by Cooks, and he forces the foul on Maldonado. If the Kings do win this game, they'll finish on top with a record of 24-9. Big improvement on last year's record, where they finished 5th and went straight out in that play-in game, Derek.
Well, this team is not that team, and Brian Goorjian is an improved coach over where he was last season. That sounds crazy to say as Dellavedova banks one in off the glass, but Goorjian has found a way at 72 to elevate his game, to modernize his concept, which has led to this team being the most dominant in the second half of the season.
A bit like his rugby league equivalent, Wayne Bennett. He has a happy knack of striking a chord with his players and getting them to play for him. Very passionate, the team responds. Cooks for Craig in the corner. And Torrey catches the rim, but the foul will be called. An offensive foul here called on Sydney.
Well, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this one, Bainesy. This is right up your alley. Little physical contact underneath the basket. I didn't think anything Delhi did was crazy.
Yeah, as we see the replay here, I mean, they're both locking arms, and so it's a tough one. They did not give Delhi the benefit of the doubt there with his veteran status, which I don't agree with either. It's kind of, I don't know if he initiated the contact, but Tane got the Oscar in that one.
Bianca Vernon, part of the crew tonight, with Vaughan Mabry, the crew chief, and Alex McEwen. Norton outside now. Final seconds of the first half. Norton leaves that one short. And a scramble underneath the bucket. It'll be jump ball, possession arrow.
I think Jacob Holt had some words for Xavier Cooks.
Brisbane scramble indicative of the fact they've only won 6 games this season. They're chasing only their third home win. Lean pickings indeed. And for the faithful here today, the Bullets want one more. Timeout called here. Tangerine timeout called by Gorge with 6.6 seconds left.
I think they were just discussing that Xavier was out of bounds, and Holt was of the opinion that they should have had the ball, right?
Let's listen in with the Sydney Kings veteran coach.
Middle of the floor, Delhi, you taking the ball out of bounds. We want you guys to hook, all right? X, come to the middle of the floor. We want this catch, all right? You guys are flying, all right? You're coming, wherever he comes, quad opposite, step out, all right? It's like you're in a ghost. You guys are flying, let's score on this. Good catch here, run through the path.
Even with a decade in China, Brian Goorjian is coaching his 26th NBL season, the 6-time championship coach in Australia, 6-time coach of the year, hoping to add to his 42 grand final games.
And you can see, Bainesy, this play that he's drawn up isn't about this game. This is about something down the line in the postseason. He's trialing something here. He wants to see if his team can execute this, knowing they may need it.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of, you know, that's what he's done. He's got my vote for Coach of the Year and what he's been able to lead Sydney through and get 3 guys to play together and change their looks.
Dellavedova from outside.
As we see, Della takes
way.
full advantage of his new position and what he's doing in the court. But yeah, Gorge is able to find different lineups to impact, and even those little plays at the end of the games that make a big difference.
And great play there by Xavier Cooks. Pushes that ball in transition, realizes he's drawn 2, kicks it over to Delhi, steps in, knocks that ball down.
He'd been dropping the 3 ball at 25%, but as he ran up the floor there, Ariana, he looked like Steph Curry.
That's right, I'm here with Terry Taylor. Terry, you guys had the lead for a majority of that first half. The Kings now have the lead at halftime. What do you guys have to do in the second to get back to those principles?
We got to stop turning the ball over. I had a couple of key turnovers, and we're rushing our shots and whatnot, and we need to get back to our basketball, playing good offensive basketball, being sound defensively, and taking care of the ball.
Speaking about good offense, you guys were lighting it up from deep. How do you guys find those sweet spots in the second half again?
Just like I said earlier, just keep running good offense and taking shots. You know, we work on them all day, every day, so it's just keep being confident with the shots we take.
Good luck in the second. Thank you.
Thank you.
You heard it from Terry Taylor. The Brisbane Bullets are down by 8 at half. We will break down how the Kings regain the lead after this short break.
effective fade. Very nice. As it turns out, both of our teams from Ingerbili stayed high. Apparently ducked a bit well here earlier, but they saw number 34 and exit stage left. Oh, the bank is open! 3 points!
Ingerbili State High School on the court right now. We're joined here with Kelly. How do you reckon they're feeling being under the big lights right now?
There was definitely some nerves to start, but they were very excited about this opportunity.
So you've had the Brisbane Bullets involved.
What a big first half here in Brisbane from the Sydney Kings and the Bullets. I'm so excited to break this one down because the Bullets were leading for a majority of that ball game, but the Kings were able to regain the lead right before halftime, and a lot of that has to do with this man who has almost 30 at halftime. KD, oh my goodness.
Well, he's been sensational. 11 of 13 from the field. He's been clearly the best player on the floor. But look, I thought the Bullets came out. They threw a little bit of an alternative defense at the Kings, threw them out of rhythm offensively. But in the second quarter, Bainesy, that Kings defense kicked in, and the Bullets were only able to score 17 points as the Kings built the lead.
Yeah, their defense came from their bench as well. You know, Malawash stepped in. He took on Maldonado one-on-one in the full court, picked him up. He's created a number of turnovers in himself, and he's brought that level up. And then you see Dellavedova out there as well. And what's working on one end is creating on the other end as we see them finish out the half with a big three. So, you know, it's a tough one for Brisbane, but can they get back to slowing the ball down and building a wall in front of Kendrick, because he is making it look too easy right now, cutting down and getting to that rim.
And you guys, we talked a lot about what makes an MVP, and I think KD saw his team was down, and he really had taken over that first half and said, no, we're going to get back in this ball game. That's huge.
Well, figuratively speaking, whether he wins the MVP or doesn't win it, he's an MVP. This guy is sensational. He's so good with the basketball, his pull-up game. He can stop on a coin and get that thing going. And of course, he's got a complete finishing package. He's just a joy to watch. And the transformation in him from last season to this season has been one like we've never seen before in the NBL.
Let's look at his Blackmore's player profile. Aaron Baines, when you look at his stats, what pops out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, he's so efficient right now. That's what's impressive is a lot of guys can score, but their volume scorers are getting out lots of shots. What he's doing now is within their system, and you see that all the guys want him to succeed because it makes their life easy. Torrey Craig has been so open because of the threat that he creates. Torrey's been able to knock down a few three-pointers because he has so much time right now, and that's what Kendrick allows for everyone else on his team.
Absolutely. The efficiency is through the roof. Now, looking at the Brisbane Bullets, Hunter Maldonado, we've wanted somebody from the Bullets to step up big on the offensive end, and he's getting it done.
He's nice. I said he looks like Jason Kidd out there. You didn't give me any love for him, Bainesy, so I'm going to say it again. He looks like Jason Kidd out there. His jump shot continues to improve. He's really efficient. He's 6 of 10 from the field, but I like the fact that he organizes the offense. He's got good size, and I think he's a real high character player and someone that you can build a team around if you're looking for a point guard for next season.
Yeah, definitely. He's showing really good growth in his role here. You know, he came into a depleted team, and he's shown that even with the players coming back in, he can facilitate in the right way. And you did mention Jason Kidd, but he's stepped up and knocked down a couple big threes as well. So I don't know if I agree with your Jason Kidd comparison. I think he might have a bit more of a shot than old Kidd did as well.
Fair enough.
We guys can argue about that off camera. What a great night of basketball, because after this, Adelaide 36ers versus the Perth Wildcats. No Bryce Cotton, but let's get to some people on the ground. Damian Martin and Mark Worthington. Hello, guys.
Hello, we cannot wait for tonight's game. It's going to be a sellout here out west at RAC Arena. There is no Bryce Cotton ruled out with a sore back, but you don't finish second on the ladder off the back of one player, no pun intended. So the Adelaide 36ers Perth Wildcats going to be an absolute blockbuster after your game.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing Xylem Cheatham, Christian Doolittle. I think that's a great matchup for this game, and it'll probably go a long way to deciding who wins or not. Adelaide, they just need to get through this and get through to the finals. For Perth to win, get fourth spot, lock that up, get a second chance. I think the Wildcats have got it tonight.
And looking at this game, guys, fast forwarding to a potential matchup between Southeast Melbourne and Perth, how do you like that play-in seeding qualifier?
Oh, there's plenty of talent out there on the court if that is going to be the matchup. Nathan Sobey's been incredible all season. Christian Doolittle, I think they're the two names you might see as first-team All-NBL candidates. But overall, those matchups all season have come down to the wire. And I just think that the finals basketball this season is going to be as good as we've ever seen. And it might be the names we haven't even mentioned that step up with the bright lights on. Someone like a Dylan Windler for the Perth Wildcats. Keep an eye on him when finals rolls around.
I agree. I could see someone else stepping up big as an X factor. Thanks for breaking that all down for us, guys. And we're going to head to a quick break.
Two recipients, each receiving a $500 Tyson continues to give his time and passion to helping young players grow on and off the court. Congratulations to Tyson. Our second recipient is Jordan Ferguson Heller. As club manager, Jordan leads with professionalism, teamwork and pride, supporting coaches, players, volunteers, referees and families while fostering a positive and inclusive club environment. Her commitment plays a key role in strengthening grassroots basketball across the Moreton Bay community. Congratulations to Jordan. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating both of our community Outcourt recipients. Brisbane Bullets. Cheers.
The Hungry Jacks NBL season started September 18. Here we are, February 20, on the last night of the regular season, and these Kings lead by 8 points. They're one good half away from being crowned regular season champions. Then it's on to the 165th and last game of the regular season. Perth against Adelaide. Do the Wildcats finish 4th or 5th? Will Adelaide be playing for top spot by virtue of a Brisbane comeback win here? It's still to play out tonight. Matt Russell, Ariana Prather, Derek Rucker, Aaron Baines with you here in Brisbane. Xavier Cooks, he's been led by Kendrick Davis again, 27 points. He also leads the Kings with assists for Torrey Craig, 10 points. He leads the Kings with 5 boards. But Brisbane, they brought some pluck to the argument in the first half. Derek Rucker, they led for an equal amount of time as Sydney. Do they have another fight back in them from here?
Well, if they do, they better bring it right now, because this is the danger period. The Kings like to come out on teams early in this third quarter and put it on them.
Hunter Maldonado, the extra pass. Tane Murray can't hit, but we see Taylor get the rebound despite the presence of 3 Kings. And again, it's Terry Taylor cleaning up for Brisbane. Murray from outside, another miss, another board for Taylor.
Great job by Taylor.
He crossed his arms and shook his head in disgust. Norton, another chance. And this time it's off the fingertips of Taylor. And Kendrick Davis says, let's restore order.
And that's Maldonado's foul. And that'll be number 3 on him. A big play there. He needed to retreat and give ground, considering he had the 2 fouls. And now he's in a real compromised position.
Aaron Baines, if Brisbane is to fight back, that man Hunter Maldonado, 14 points. He also leads Brisbane with 4 assists. Dukas 5 boards, but yes, Hunter Maldonado seemed the man most likely to cause an upset here as Davis floats for 2.
Can I tell you what, Bainesy? Sorry, just before you get into that, the 55 count is on.
Derek's waiting for it. He wants a record, huh? That's what you're after. I mean, for Hunter, he's got to come out here and, you know, lead the team and do what he did. He's got to step into those shots, knock them down with confidence. He's trying to facilitate right now, and hopefully Tane can knock this one down.
Derek, I'm putting you on Davis' watch. Give us his numbers. Come on, where's he at right now?
He's got 29 points on 12 of 14 shooting. And an absolutely divine dime to Cooks. A look away, left-handed hook bounce pass.
I'm sensing I didn't give your comment of 55 enough credence. You're still dwelling on it, waiting for me to agree with you in here.
You feel my energy?
He hasn't yet exploded from outside tonight as Craig blocked Maldonado. But just back to Kendrick Davis, yes, those points and that accurate shooting, but 1 of 1 from outside, bearing in mind he was 6 made threes last start.
Well, he's added that 3 ball kind of since the mid of December, and it's something that he's increased with efficiency as the season's gone on. He was 6 of 9 the other night. And the thing is, Bainesy, he just takes what he's created for himself. Exactly. And if that leads to mid-range space, he'll take the mid-range. If it means he goes to the rack, he'll go to the rack.
It's been so many layups tonight. Like you said, he hasn't needed to shoot the 3 ball. He's getting past his man at will, it seems. And why shoot a 3 when you can take a layup?
Maldonado makes the first. Brian Georgian scratches his head. It's been a great revival by the Kings, who are a little wobbly through the first third of the season. There were some question marks over them, weren't there? But slowly but surely they steadied, and now they're powered to this 10-game winning streak. A Quach Malawatch. And a turnover by the Kings. Hunter Maldonado as Quach tries to force another turnover.
Smart try there by Quat Noise. Sometimes defensively, you have to take a risk. He knew he didn't want to get into a one-on-one battle down in the body shop. against Jacob Holt.
Yeah, no, he was just trying to use his feet, get around, use his speed as his advantage. And, you know, unfortunately, it was just created a little bit more contact than he was aiming for, trying to get around the ball there.
Sydney best field goal shooting percentage in the league as Holt fires away. They're shooting it above 62% in this game so far, way up on their season ranking, #1 of 48%.
And look, that shot by Holt, we've seen he's been able to knock down threes, but that's a credit to what Sydney's defense is. They've really stopped the penetration, and Brisbane are having to live with those threes more so than getting to the easy layups.
Well, Aaron, what did you make of Jacob Holt being named in that Boomers squad by virtue of his mother's Australian-Croatian heritage, the only bullet in that team?
Yeah, it's a credit to what he's been able to do, and he's a different look for them inside there in the paint. You know, he is a physical player, he's a physical presence. He's not afraid to go in there and bang with anyone, so it's a good look. It's what they need to do at that FIBA level. It's a different game when they're going out and play against the competition, and it's great to have a big like that be able to come in and be your anchor on the defensive end, and, you know, offensively he's also able to finish and knock down a three if need be as well.
And Derek, a couple of bullets about to don the stars and stripes of the US for America's World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, Terry Taylor and Dakota Mathias. They'll both be on that team, and good opportunity for them. So many American players, obviously, participating in the NBA and in various leagues across the world, and those guys will have the opportunity due to the fact that they're free.
I saw D-Mac before the game, right? You're the same. All these Americans coming over, and they have that perfect opportunity to represent their country in a FIBA game. What would you have given to be able to wear that red, white, and blue and play in one of those games yourself, right? You're playing out here in Australia. It's another benefit that you get for coming out here and playing in this league is you're available in those FIBA windows.
Aaron, what I would give up to have done that, I could not mention at this time of day on TV.
Have you got two of them?
That's the exact response D-Mac had. So these guys don't realize how fortunate they are, right? Getting to represent your country at a FIBA game, it's a special thing.
Left or right one, Derek?
Oh, God, Matty.
Feet I'm talking about, of course.
Left leg.
As that's a big bucket. Makwach Malawach.
Lead is growing, Bainesy, up to 15. Brisbane have only scored 2 points in this quarter, and I said the first 2 or 3 minutes, Sydney had a real good opportunity to put some pain on them.
Terry Taylor working baseline. The soon-to-be American representative. Plenty of traffic for him to deal with now. Kwat just lost it temporarily. Reverse off the glass goes.
Well, we know what Kwat wants to do. That's put the ball in the basket. And right now he realizes he hasn't done that enough. And he's an offensive-minded player. I anticipate him getting real busy in this second half.
He's had 6 triples 3 times this campaign, but never the 7. His career high is the 6. Points is a little tough to come by, and the 3 ball a little hard to shoot for Kwat in recent games, but we know he can catch fire with the click of a finger. It could be any moment for a man who lights up Kudos Bank Arena more often than not. Here he is on ball for Torrey Craig. And Delhi. Matthew Dellavedova working hard. Classic.
I had a chat to Delhi pre-game. I told him one of my favorite things over the late is watching him post up guys and get to a hook shot. And that right there with the running hook, I know Luke Longley's going to be loving that, seeing it from one of his players as well.
Well, it's classic head down, bum up play.
Wow.
Kendrick gets away from Norton, feeds Kwat Nui. He goes off the glass, and we'll have a tangerine timeout called by Darryl McDonald. It's been ugly since halftime for the Bullets. 73-54 to the Sydney Kings.
Well, a 15-4 run, and the Amy replay shows how talented this man is. Beats Nordo to create this opportunity for Kwat Nui. Look at that handle. Hang dribble, puts it through his legs, pushes, feeds Nui. Kings starting to take control of this one.
Aaron Baines is an Australian basketballing great. Your selections come with much gravitas when it comes to your all NBL firsts. Hit me.
Well, yeah, for me, you've got the 3 guys in there that go without saying, and then the first team. What JaVale's been able to come down and do, it's impressive to me, and showing what he does at his age and still having an impact, and it's just another big ticket coming down to Australia and playing. Then Doolittle, to me, it was, you got to have some of the top teams in there, and it came down to Milton Doyle or Doolittle, and I think just Perth are above Melbourne right now, and that comes down to the first team. Then the second team, the top 3, they can't just have one in there. They've separated themselves from the rest of the pack. I mean, Zave is an MVP in his own right and what he's been able to do previously in the NBL, and he's playing so well again. Then John Brown III, Defensive Player of the Year. Isaac Humphries, Bryce isn't Bryce, and doing what he's done this year without having Isaac and being able to have that connection he's had with him.
Okay, can we talk about one glaring omission? And I respect the fact that this is going to be very competitive for these top 10 spots. But what happened to Zylan Cheatham, bro?
Look, 100%, that's it, but I've got a big bias, right? So I'm going with the big man. That's where it came
wow,
down
the
to
guy
who
plays
knew.
4, and sometimes he plays small ball 5. What do you want him to do, Bainesy?
Small ball 5, I'm not about that.
Oh, that
I'm
doesn't
about
count?
playing big. I like playing big. Come on, you're one of these small ball guys that's positionless, Derek.
I love this time of year. All NBL teams garnering so much conversation. Ariana Prather, you listened into both huddles last time out. You're a busy courtside runner.
That's right, working hard in these heels, guys. But I was listening into the Bullets huddle, and both were super quick. Daryl McDonald just telling his team, throwing up his hands and said, look, it's now or never. Either we're going to fold, roll over, or we're going to fight to get back into this ball game. And on the other end, the Sydney Kings, Coach Brian Goorjian wants his team to put a body on someone and box out, and wants to continue to push the pace and really put a foot on their necks, like we've been saying all night long, Derek Rucker, and tally up the scoreboard.
Well, it's interesting how quickly a lead can grow. And this is why coaches are always on their teams about being patient and going through the process.
And what I like about what Sydney are doing is that lead's growing, but it's not from the 3-point line. That's where I talked earlier, as we see Tyrell draw contact in there. I talked earlier about the difference in the NBL and the NBA. And the NBA, you see so many teams just come down and put up threes for the sake of putting up a 3. Kendrick can put up whatever shot he wants, and he knows it's more valuable getting to the rim. And that's where the difference in style comes to a highlight here, is they've created this separation, this 20 points, by getting down and getting layups. It's not being from the 3-point line.
It's just a captain's challenge or coach's challenge from Brian Goorjian. Over the last couple of months, the focus of what you've just been talking about has been evident from Brian Goorjian's team. Game there to be won, they just lean into the accelerator, and in a few minutes of play, boom, the game is wide open, Derek.
Well, that's the danger when you play the Sydney Kings. As we have a look at this Amy Coach's Challenge, I don't clearly see where the foul is. Perhaps this behind the backboard angle will give us a good look at it. Did Suarez maybe reach in with the left hand?
I mean, also Robertson's foot is moving as he comes over and creates contact. I don't know. That's where, does he need to give him somewhat of a step to get through? I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like it might be a successful challenge based on the hands up and Tyrell's initiating. There we go.
Well, the challenge is unsuccessful, and in the replay centre, Scott Butler, you might explain that one to us.
Gentlemen, the foul was called on number 11. The defender has his arms clearly out of vertical, so that's where the foul is. So the foul will stand. I can't make any decision on whether it's active shooting or not.
Okay, so Tim Suarez, the offender for Sydney, and as read by you, Derek, that left arm just reaching in according to Scotty Butler there.
And when you go to the replay center, you just have to be so certain that the defender has not created any contact of any sort.
Tyrell Harrison at the line. Tyrell shooting the free throws at 62% this season. scoring 15.5 points per outing at 64%. That's second in the league for field goal percentage. 9 rebounds, a couple of assists per game, so pretty decent numbers in a wretched season for his team. The man who was most improved last year, Tyrell Harrison. How have you assessed the season following that most improved award for the Brisbane big man? Amid much chaos, it must be said.
Well, it's tough, and he had the concussion-like symptoms several rounds ago. His body, though, Bainesy, has held up much better than any of his previous seasons as a pro, and he gets called for a really soft one there. I mean, if you're a defender now, when there's contact, just fall over. It's 50-50. You might get a call.
Boys, it's 20 points to Sydney as Quat Noy will go to the line here. Half-time, you mentioned it repeatedly, Derek. It was 58-50, 8 points, game very much alive. But the third quarter again has been the money quarter for the Kings. The 100-year tour, the Harlem Globetrotters, they're coming back down under June, July. Get your tickets by scanning that QR code. It will be much fun indeed. But yeah, Sydney, they have the ability to go in a hurry, don't they?
Well, Sydney and Southeast Melbourne have that capacity to just go boom really quickly, and before you know it, the lead is out to 20, 25. They do it differently. Sydney is technically a better defensive team. Southeast Melbourne do it with a lot of pressure, intensity, and aggression. They shoot the passing lanes. It's a different style, but on any given night, they're both extremely effective. And I'm not sure there are any other teams that have that firepower to get you like those two teams can.
Not in the same way, but, you know, there's one team with one particular guy who can put up points in a hurry as well. And
do you want to name that particular individual?
He is out tonight with sore back, but, I mean, yeah, Sydney do it differently to everyone else, just the way Kendrick gets downhill.
Tyler Robertson barely troubled the net. What a sweet shot that was. Yeah, Bryce Cotton not playing for Adelaide in the game to come. Perth against the 36ers. The Wildcats needing to avoid a loss between that 9 to 11 point margin to make sure of 4th spot. Otherwise, they slide into 5th and face that sudden death elimination game in the playoff or play-in tournament. Davis, turnover, number 10 for the Bullets, and Davis cashes in. In fact, it's number 12. It's a dirty dozen when it comes to turnovers for the home team.
Well, it's been a dirty time for the Bullets since the end of the first quarter. They've now been outscored 56-22. The Kings have just gone straight domination mode.
Kings, fewest turnovers in the league. Brisbane, second most. And they've had 12-3 tonight. Sort of undoes all the good work rebounding. They've taken 8 offensive rebounds to 1, the Bullets. 8-1 in that regard. So tick there, but turnover, big cross.
Matty, the Kings aren't missing. Bainesy, they're 65% from the field. There's nothing to get.
And there's your answer to the 55. I don't think we'll see Kendrick again tonight. I think he might be done with that. I mean,
why do you say that? Did you see something?
I didn't see something, but has he come out tonight?
Nope.
That's exactly it. I think, you know.
You think 27, 26 is enough? I mean, I'm talking about the margin.
What is it, 20? Oh, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but is it time to, you know, prepare and see what else they got, get some other guys going with some rhythm?
And the way he plays, he's so dynamic and he's athletic. What is the upside for Kendrick Davis right now for the rest of this game?
Exactly. That's my exact point right now. It's, you know, get the other guys in some rhythm. Like Robertson just knocked down a 3. You want to see that more consistently right now and get him feeling good. You want Daly knocking down those shots reminiscent of the closing of the first half and get him feeling good. You want Noy coming in and Zave, you know, give the ball to those guys and let them run it.
He's played 27 minutes. He scored 31 points and had 8 assists. 27 minutes, 31 points, 8 assists.
And this is a wonderful league. It is an elite league in terms of worldwide status, Bainesy. And in a game with a lot of exceptional players on the floor, to stand out the way he has in this one, just a sign of what caliber of player Kendrick Davis is, and a great offseason acquisition by the Sydney Kings.
So Sean Bruce is out there as a result. He hasn't scored in Sydney's last 6 games, Sean. The 7-season veteran at Sydney, of course, is part of a much longer career, 14 in the NBL. And the points just continue to flow for Xavier Cooks and the Sydney Kings.
Think about caliber of player. I mean, 150 game, like I said, that's beautiful footwork there by Xavier. Again, Luke would be happy with the little running hook as well. And I did, as we see, Divas nearly hit one. I did say, you know, Gorge has my vote for Coach of the Year, but at the same time,
Robertson
goes up
Suarez.
Yeah, what Pongrass and Longley and the guys at Sydney have done in being able to sign Davis and that foresight to be able to get these 3 big players on their team to come together and play the way they have, as Smith Milner knocks down a 3 to try and get some rhythm going for Brisbane. It's a credit to Sydney as an organisation as well.
Smith Milner's second long one of the night. Here's Dellavedova feeding Suarez, who shakes Holt and jams it with the right hand.
Well, he's having his own individual dunk contest right now in this 3rd quarter, giving you the alley-oop, giving you the reverse one-hander.
Another turnover, Maldonado. And here's Tyler Robertson. Only Smith Milner in front of Xavier Cooks, who misses the bunny. Well, it's all getting a little ragged out there at the moment. Turnovers, fumbles, missed gimmies.
Great hustle there by Dellavedova. Kings up by 28. He sprints back, gets a piece of that basketball off of Bullett's leg, and that will be Sydney Kings to have the final possession of this 3rd quarter. And I think Xavier Cooks, this will be his last possession potentially as well, Bainesy.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of players on that bench that haven't seen too much time in this game. And like I said, you never know what's going to eventuate in the playoffs, and you want to, you know, get those guys playing. You just talked about there's 3 weeks in between what they have to when they're playing, and Sydney have that advantage of there's some great competition within their own team, and you know, their 5 guys that they play against each other in practice are going to push their starting 5 as well.
Lueth, Awan, Goch Malual. We'll see Jason Spurgeon, you'd imagine. He's earmarked to return tonight. First game of the season after that wretched foot injury. So there's great competition, and Hunter Goodrick for the first time tonight. He'll come on. Great competition across the roster at the Kings. They're tight. They go at it day in, day out at training, but yeah, Brian Goorjian relishing the opportunity to get some run in all his players' legs.
And yeah, look, I know Kelly's not playing this season, but he's feeling good, so I'm sure he's probably running around there with the fellas as well. Extra competition.
Hunter Maldonado elevates right on top of the 3-ball line. Can't hit. Last second of the 3rd quarter.
Sean Bruce feeling good about his chances on this one.
It's been a big quarter for the Kings from mid-court. Sean Bruce fires and follows, but it misses. And it's the Kings in complete control, on top of the table and sailing towards the regular season championship. Visitors 90, home team 60.
You were so close. You did an underarm shot, which was hilarious. I'm going to give you the ball anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a big round of applause. Pure entertainment. Let's never do that again.
Johnny, let's get these people on their feet for one more time.
All right, Brisbane, we've got some work.
All my life, I've always wanted to play professional job to show the world this kid got game.
Easy was watched well.
Racing now and get the power. Tyre power. Great race sail.
Take hold position with a great range of Kumon.
Welcome back to the Brisbane Entertainment Center. The Kings have a 30-point lead over the home team right now. Let's see if the Bullets can fight back and try to make it at least a 10-point ball game. I was listening in to Coach D-Mac, and he told his team, guys, it starts with us. Let's be physical. Let's push the pace. Let's take care of the ball. Let's see if they can do that. But, guys, I think the most heartbreaking thing as a Bullets fan, if you're watching, is they're in the game. They had the lead. It was respectable all the way up till halftime, and then it just seems like the second half, it just does not go their way.
Absolutely, Ariana. They won the first quarter 33-26 to breed some hope and belief. Lueth Awan out there and scoring for Nakach Malawatch, it was in fact. Shooting so efficiently back half of the season. A 32-10 third quarter win for the Kings. Brisbane's second lowest scoring quarter of the season, kept to just 10 points. So the last two quarters, the Kings have scored 32. There's Torrey Craig, who scores with his eyes shut. From here, men, what's a par total for the Kings? Are we looking at 120?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, because these guys out on the floor got some guys with some hunger. Hunter Goodrich, really like him. And he had a really valuable stint midway through the season after he was brought in, where he did a really good job in his rotational minutes, great on the offensive glass. Sean Bruce wants to keep himself sharp. Robertson and Malawatch, they're all key players who understand that they have to stay sharp. Otherwise, Brian Goorjian is going to be on their backsides.
Not only that, but they want to show their value to the team, right? Like, these guys are still making sure that, hey, when we're out here, we do deliver. You can call our number, and we're going to go out there and do it the right way, do the right thing for you. Everyone wants that next contract too, and these guys are no different. They want to stick around and play with this team for as long as possible.
I'll come back to Malawatch in a moment. Possession here with the Bullets. Maldonado for Holt outside. And there's Malawatch grabbing the rebound. 18 points he scored last game against Perth, plus 21. That was a Kings high. Just underlining his importance to the team. He's hit double figures now in 6 of his last 7. He has 10 and counting tonight, so yep, 6 of his last 7 outings he's been to double figures with a high shooting percentage, playing quite the role. McQuatch, Malawatch, another of the award nominations, and he wouldn't be out of place if decorated at the awards, Derek.
He certainly wouldn't, and his contributions have been timely. With Bull Quall going out with that unfortunate ACL injury, Malawatch has taken full advantage, and it hasn't taken him a long time to adjust and to figure out how to have an impact. Torrey Craig figures it's time for him to just expand his boundaries out on the floor a little bit, get some up, because he knows he's going to be coming out of the game probably in the next couple of minutes.
Well, interesting that Coach Goorjian leaves Torrey Craig out there. There might be a reason for it. We'll come back to Torrey Craig after Hunter Maldonado goes to Murray, who misses. One area of improvement, Brian Goorjian thinks Sydney still have a fair bit to give, and it's integrating Torrey Craig into this team more effectively. Here's Tyler Robertson. Doesn't miss again. Tyler Robertson, what a scorer he can be.
Look, yeah, he can score, but what impressed me was being on the bench, you've got to see what's happening in the game. They all saw what Terry Taylor was doing with the offensive boards. A couple of possessions ago, Robertson just went and boxed him out and pushed him under the backboard so he couldn't get an offensive rebound. Those are those little things that as a bench player, you want to be able to come in and deliver what's happening in the game and impact it in the right way, which is what he's been able to do.
Points for Sean Bruce. A run of outs ends with that Sean Bruce. We know he can knock them down, and he does. They've got triple figures again. the Sydney Kings by 41 points, doing what many expected them to do tonight, Derek.
Well, since quarter time, it's been impressive. And they did a good job in that third quarter. The Kings on the defensive end. Brisbane only scored 10 points. And now they've really got it in top gear. Offensively, they've come out and scored 11 quick ones in this quarter, Bainesy.
Yeah, it's like we said, it was first quarter, they scored 33. They've scored 27 since then.
So Brian Goorjian still riding his team. Back to that expression, foot on the throat. They've been so good for weeks now. We wondered whether there'd be a slip-up, a let-up. There hasn't appeared to be at any stage. And even with the likes of Kendrick Davis and Xavier Cooks taking a seat, the points continue to flow. The likes of Sean Bruce, McQuatch Malawatch, Tyler Robertson all step up and get it done. 101-60 for an 8th game in a row. The Kings have triple figures. As we've mentioned, their best run in more than 20 years. Their best run in the 40-minute era, you've got to go back to 2001 too to find the last time the Kings were scoring like this, D-Ruck.
Just a team that's just well-oiled, full of confidence, and with an exceptional motor. And now Tyler Robertson got a shoulder problem.
Just reaching in for the ball. Had the arm caught in an awkward situation, and a team that's been in the absence or with the exception of Bull Quoll in recent weeks, pretty fit. It looks like Tyler Robertson's going to go straight to the locker rooms with a potentially serious shoulder injury.
And we hate to see this. Such a good person, great to chat to, and you can see that is serious. He's had a good one here. 11 points. Brian Goorjian let out a big shout as Robertson began walking off the court.
Last game against Brisbane, career high 17 points, 8 rebounds. You mentioned it. Good numbers tonight for Tyler Robertson. What a horrible blow for the young man if that is a situation that keeps him out or impacts his finals availability.
Yeah, something you hate to see for anyone, let alone, you know, a guy like that who's going to have a role come into the playoffs. It's a tough one. I think we all saw it on Goorjian's expression there. But Sydney keep doing what they do, right? They bring in another guy who can go out there and do the right thing, and then Delhi's getting downhill. They're still putting pressure on the rim. They've got a purpose to their game, and it's not this game tonight. It's about what's coming up next. They're getting ready for it.
Norton behind the back for Purchase, cleaned up just in time. Now Mitch Norton exploring. Turnaround jumper, it's short. Rebound Dellavedova, and quickly in transition, Bruce is on the end of that pass. Sean Bruce again from outside. Same result, he's gone. Crash bang with a 3-ball.
No matter the circumstances, he's reliable, and that's why he continues to be in this Sydney Kings championship level roster.
Murray outside. And that's a nice shot from Purchase. One of the next generation players in this Brisbane squad this year. There's a miss from Bruce. Yeah, names like Dalton and Purchase and Bradkey and Duffelmeyer taking us back to different eras, Derek. Great to see. But it's been a decade of despair, it must be said, for Brisbane since they returned to the NBL this year. Player movement, coaching changes, injuries, but in that decade since their return, just the one finals campaign. They've lost both finals, in fact, they've played in that decade. It's not good enough for a city with the sporting prowess of Brisbane. So where to for the Bullets quickly? You bookended your career, Derek. Your magnificent career started and finished in Brisbane. I know you've got a soft spot for this city. What's priority number one after tonight for the Bullets?
Well, I think when you look at the structure of the organization, they need someone in charge of the basketball. So whether it's the director of basketball operations, but they need someone that has local knowledge, that understands the Australian basketball market, that has a network where you can reach out to people, get intel, beat others to the punch. Then obviously you need to go out there and get yourself a really good level coach. then you start building the pieces. But Bainesy, it's always from the top.
And Aaron, you finished your magnificent career here. Couple of seasons as a Bullet, so it's still your home. What's required?
Yeah, well, it's got to, like Derek said, it's leadership from the top. That's an unfortunate turnover, just a miscommunication there. Yeah, they've got to get their coach and build a roster that works within that system. And, you know, unfortunately, some guys just didn't work within the system here this year. It's, yeah, as Derek said, on those guys to put together the right team, and they haven't been able to do that as of yet. So hopefully it's something that they can find. You know, they've got some really key pieces in the guys they do have signed that make it easy and give you some ability to go out there and try and put a bit more into getting someone to fill that point guard spot or that shooting guard spot and really give yourself a way to compete with these other teams that do that in the league.
Callum Dalton went outside unsuccessfully there. The shot off the mark. 4.5 left. 109.63. The Kings in complete control, resting their studs. Getting reward from the likes of Sean Bruce.
The other day, Matty, I was just having a coffee down at St. Kilda, and I could see this guy approaching me. And he looked at me, and he was like, "Hey, you're that bloke from the NBL TV, eh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Leroy Loggins, eh?" And I was like, "No, I'm actually Derek." He's like, "Who do you think's going to win the MVP, mate?"
I reckon Tyler Harvey does a good Australian accent. I'm not so sure about D.
What are you talking
Rucker.
about?
Still to come.
Fantastic.
Perth Wildcats, Adelaide 36ers, Lockie Reed, Damien Martin, Mark Worthington, Annalie Maley. They all speak with a Reggie Didge Australian accent, not one of Derek Rucker's butchered attempts. I do
Apologies.
give you 9 out of 10 for effort though, Derek.
So who did you tell him was going to win the MVP?
You're good.
That's
a good
very
one.
good, Aaron. Very, very good. We'll see
It's a great discussion. I mean, I've heard so many different cases for why each guy should win it.
Does it throw you back to, what was it, the 97 season?
Why would you bring that up right now? We're having
I'm taking the mood down to Derek here.
We should let people know that before there was Kendrick Davis and Bryce Cotton, there was Andrew Gaze and Derek Rucker. Derek, you got one. That's all that matters. You got one.
So what he said had a little bit more meaning before. Is
Maliwatch!
Oh, there we go.
Exclamation mark on a regular season championship from a man who stood up at the back half of that run.
That's why Davis, you said, regardless, he is an MVP, right, Derek? Because that's how you felt with that 97 season.
Yes.
Tane Murray, nice.
Yes. You know, I think back in the day, after they announced Andrew was the winner, I think one of the office personnel came over with a check for $1,500. Said, "Good job on the season. See you next year."
Quatnoy will have a 3-ball to go as Sean Bruce gets the O board, leaves his shot short, and they'll get another low.
It was at that point that Derek said, "One day I'm going to have an impact on who gets the vote for MVP."
The Kings just pounding Brisbane on the O boards.
Dellavedova off the glass. A 3-ball. Andrew Gaze, 7-time MVP. They're called the Gazies. D-Ruck only just behind. It was a great battle. In all seriousness, we sat back and watched 411 magnificent games from one of the game's great scorers, one of the game's great assist providers in yourself, Derek.
Thank you, Matty. And we wind down the final 2.5 of this, and Brisbane running some offense, and I think this is when you probably lobby for a running clock, Bainesy.
Tane Murray.
Tane stepping up, knocking it down. A little bit too late, but I'm happy to see it go down, and, you know, a little bit of encouragement for next season.
It'll be a long, brutal, maybe turbulent off-season as well for the Bullets. You grant them every highlight they have late in a tough season. 114.69. Dalton, the Murray, and Divas. Much young talent out there, some really exciting potential in this squad. Murray, a little step back go. So he's finishing with a flurry. Tane Murray.
Good to see him get it going, and yeah. Sydney though, just keep that thing rolling.
What's Delhi still doing out there? Hasn't he looked at coach yet and said, "Come on, coach"?
That's the thing about Delhi. He's got to keep giving everything he has until that substitution comes or that final buzzer sounds.
Well, you would think that Jason Spurgeon probably isn't cleared to play, probably just made the trip because he would be the one that should get his minutes now. Purchase, it's a tough shot.
Jack Purchase for the Bullets. This is the second last game of the regular season. 1 to go across the country. The Wildcats against the 36ers. So Adelaide now locked into second. They've qualified for a semi-final series already. But where did Perth finish? Here's McQuatch. Malawatch still splashing 3 balls. Malawatch up to 15 for the game.
There's a bit of that Sydney swagger as well that we talked about before the game. As soon as he hit that, he looked right back at Purchase and let him know anything you can do, I'm going to outdo it.
Yeah.
Final minute of Brisbane season. They'll finish last with a 6-27 record. Good to see the Bullets faithful still here and supporting. At the end of a tough year, they'll hope for a much better Hungry Jacks NBL27. But this man, McQuatch, Malawatch on the Amy replay, just underlining the point I made a moment ago. So effective, efficient with his scoring. Double figures in 6 of his last 7. Nice form to carry into the finals.
Smooth release on that jump shot.
Fiddlesticks, Purchase says, and throws it right back at him.
From one side of the court to the other. Jack Purchase. 2, will make it 3 made threes for a neat 9 points. Sean Bruce is content to dribble it out. The Sydney Kings are already shaking hands. They are on top and they are on fire. The Kings are your regular season champions. The Hungry Jacks NBL26. Are they hurtling towards their 6th championship? 03, 04, 05, 22-23, and they hope 2026.
A devastating second half by the Sydney Kings, outscoring the Brisbane Bullets 59-27. And Brian Goorjian can be ecstatic with the way his team has wrapped up this regular season, not falling asleep at the wheel, taking care of business, and ending what has been just an absolutely dreadful season for the Brisbane Bullets with a 40-piece.
A 40-point rout by the Kings despite trailing at quarter time, having a narrow lead at the half. They've gone to 100 points plus for 8 games in a row. The first time they've achieved that in more than 20 years. It's 11 straight into the finals, Aaron Baines.
Yeah, I mean, they look like they're the best team in the league right now. They're playing like it, led by that man right there, Davis, just doing what he does, coming out, playing the game at his speed, making it look effortless so many times. And everyone else stepped up and did the same thing. They were only 3 points off what you called, Derek, at 120, but, you know, they've got it rolling, and, yeah, it's a dangerous team to come up against.
Their winning streak coming here tonight was by an average of 17 points per win. A 40-point blowout will bump that average margin out even further. They have stormed into the finals. At times it's looked like they have coasted, but their form has been storming and leading the way. Their little backcourt general, who's about to be joined, or about to join Ariana Prather. Ariana, KD has done it again.
That's right. You guys are now the regular season champs. You're finishing on the top of the ladder. What does this moment mean for your team?
It means a lot. We started out 3-5, and we heard all the narratives. Gorge, you know, maybe his time past us. We heard everything, man. We had other people from other teams telling us what we need to do, and look, we finished on top, so it meant a lot, but it don't mean nothing if we don't bring home a trophy.
Talking about bringing home the trophy and maybe some other trophies. I have to quote Jay-Z. What more can you say? What more can you do? Another 30-plus performance for you tonight to show that you deserve it all this season.
This is what he do. Let him know, KD.
Come on now, it's okay.
Nah, man, I just got a great group of teammates, great leaders, and Gorge, Daly, X. Like, this is X team, and yeah, Daly done groomed me as a leader. X done groomed me, my confidence. Gorge believed in me since day one. All the narratives that was out there before I got here. Gorge like my dad, like my father, and these teammates is like my brothers, and they push me to be great. They tell me, like, we need you to be great. And I don't have this MVP season without them, but like, the points gonna come. I think I only played 30 minutes again tonight, so that's credit to my teammates. I don't have to go out there and be hero. So, man, I got a great group of teammates, 1 through 14, and a great coach.
Talking about the narratives, you guys have absolutely crushed them all. What do you guys need to take from tonight and head into the finals?
Not getting off to a slow start. We gave them confidence in the first half, and if you give the wrong team confidence, it'll be a long night on their home floor. So we'll go to the drawing board, clean some things up. But as you know, it's 0-0 now. Anybody can be beat, and Gorge gonna have us ready. Daly, X, Brucey, they gonna have us ready. So, yeah, man, we got to come out and play hard now.
It's 0-0. So fun to watch. Thank you, KD.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
KD said he played half an hour. It was actually 27 minutes for 31 points, 8 assists. He and Bryce Cotton are head-to-head in the MVP race. If they're head-to-head on court again, Derek, it'll be in the grand final series.
And what a tremendous event that would be. But right now, let's focus on this one. Kendrick Davis just dominated this one. And early in the game, when the Kings were down, he continued to toil away and get buckets. Had 27 in the first half. And then once his teammates joined in the second half, he didn't really have a need to score. Just set others up, and he had inflicted so much damage on that Brisbane defense that it made it easy for the others.
Exactly, you know, and not only that, but he said exactly the right things after the game as well. This doesn't mean anything if they don't come home with the trophy, right? That's the message you saw. That's the way Gorge was coaching as well. They're focused on what's to come. They aren't happy yet. They aren't satiated. They've got that swagger about them. They're going out there to take care of business, and this was just another little bump in the road for them on the path to what they want to get.
And Aaron Ariana is standing by with one of your bronze medal winning teammates. Ariana?
That's right. I'm here with Matthew Dellavedova. You heard it from KD. He said this is your team. This is yours and Xavier Cook's team. What are you telling your team as they head into finals? You've had so much experience with winning. What does your team need to focus on?
I mean, KD was incredible tonight. He's been incredible all season. But, you know, we've had a lot of contributors throughout the year as we've had injuries. And I think this FIBA window, just a chance to continue to work on what we need to do, continue to get in good shape and be ready to go game one.
What are some things that you feel like you guys do need to focus on when you talk about having to work on things and improve heading into the finals?
I think rebounding is one. I think we've done a good job defensively. We've been pushing the pace, but we'll be able to push the pace more if we finish possessions with a rebound.
I think you guys started off a little bit slow tonight, but you guys were able to regain the lead at halftime. What does that say about just the fight of your team and how you guys never give up?
Yeah, I mean, Brisbane came out. We knew they were going to come out with a great effort, and you know, it was a tight game for 2 quarters, and we knew we just needed to pick up our defense a bit to be able to get some stops and get out and run. But I think, you know, this game and then the Cairns game as well, especially, we were tested in the first half, and we just dug in and got some more stops.
We talk about how good KD is, but also Xavier Cook's 150 games. How special is this team, and how special is he as a player?
I mean, he can do everything out on the floor, whether it's, you know, pushing the ball in transition, passing, finishing at the rim, rebounding, defensively guarding guards or bigs. He's like a Swiss Army knife. So, and obviously, yeah, KD's been special, but, you know, we've got a great group of guys that just want to win, and that's what it's going to take in the finals.
Thank you, Deli, and good luck bringing that trophy home.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Matthew Dellavedova, a championship winner in the NBA. He's been to the NBL Grand Final Series the last couple of years. He wants to go back there with the Sydney Kings and improve on that, Derek.
He's playing clean basketball. He's providing the level of effective leadership that this team needs. He's contributing with his counting stats, and I just believe Dellavedova maintaining his health, he will play a better role with the Sydney Kings in the championship series than he did with Melbourne United.
We've still got a big game to come. The final game of the regular season, Perth at home to Adelaide. Let's head west now, where we've got Damien Martin and Annalise Maley standing by. I can't wait to see this one. Perth, they need to avoid a heavy loss, don't they?
Yeah, there's still a lot on line for the Perth Wildcats. We just saw the Sydney Kings dismantle Brisbane Bullets. Now we've got two incredible teams about to perform who may come up against the Kings at the back end of the final series. But the Wildcats still need a win. They do not want to drop down to fifth on that ladder. It has huge implications regarding home court advantage, so on and so forth. So a lot to play for tonight. And the Adelaide 36ers, despite Bryce Cotton not playing, they're an incredible side and they want to be going into the finals full of confidence and still playing some of their best basketball as well.
And Annalie, how do you think the Perth Wildcats will handle emotionally Bryce Cotton not playing? Because all week they've probably been planning on him being out there, and we know how it is as competitors. Sometimes that can lead to a drop-off when a key guy is out.
Yeah, so speaking to Christian Doolittle before the game, that was a key point for him. He said Bryce has so much gravity and their whole game plan was around stopping Bryce. But he said that it's dangerous because you have other players that will step up in the absence and you will get almost a 10, 20% better effort from other players knowing that that's a hole that they have to fill. So his words were that we need to attack the game with tenacity heading into finals. It's an important win, but they want to play the same regardless who's in and who's out.
Oh, yeah, no, so with this big game coming up, no Bryce, you've got Doolittle who's out here. He's on Derek Rucker's fourth in the NBL. What are you looking to see from him tonight? Is he going to go out there? You're looking for him to step up to another level come playoff time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Christian Doolittle has been the backbone of this Perth Wildcats team all season, and their win-loss ratio is probably based off the performance he's had. He's an MVP candidate. Derek's got him in his first team. I've got him in my first team. And the reality is he needs to go into finals playing his best basketball because they're going to look to him when the bright lights are on and they're playing in a semi-final and then potentially into a grand final as well. So Christian Doolittle is the Wildcats' best player. But in saying that, they also need Dylan Windler. They also need Joe Llewellyn-Kuehl. They need all those guys stepping up tonight so that they can have a little break, start preparing for semis.
Damien Martin, Annalise Maley, you've had the honour of calling the final regular game of the season. Bring it home strong in the West. I know you will. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to your coverage coming up very shortly. But after this break, we're going to wrap it up from the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. Derek Rucker, Aaron Baines and Ariana Prather will update the condition of Tyler Robertson, who's picked up an AC injury, the only blemish on an otherwise bright night for Sydney. Your regular season champions beating the Bullets by 40 points.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Well, we spoke at halftime, and it was a good game, but it turned pretty sideways for the Bullets in the second half. A 40-piece win on the road for the Sydney Kings. They are now the regular season champs. I'm very happy for the Kings. Let's look at some of these match stats as they have just beaten the Bullets. What stands out to you the most, Ruck?
Well, I thought in the second half, the Bullets defense, and they really forced some, the Kings defense forced some inaccurate shooting by the Brisbane Bullets. Keep in mind, the Bullets were 4 of 7 at one point from the three. They finished on a 9 of 33 run as the Kings just dominated that game in the second half.
Yeah, their defense switched on, but their offense didn't switch off. They stayed exceptionally efficient throughout the night. You know, you saw it with Kendrick Davis, the head of the beast. He was 13 for 15 in 27 minutes. When you only need 4 free throws to score 31 points, you're having a hell of a night. And for the rest of the team, they see that, and the basket looks big for them as well. It's a tough thing to go against a team like that with that talent and on that bit of confidence as well.
The only negative that came from this game is the sad news about Tyler Robertson when he got injured. We all saw it. Now, he did come back out at the end of the game and get some hugs from his teammates. We have just found out it's an AC joint injury that should take about 2 to 3 weeks to heal. How does that impact this team?
Well, you never want to sustain an injury like this, especially to your shoulder on your shooting arm. But the Kings have played well enough to finish on top. Now they get an extended break during the FIBA break, and then you add on the play-in tournament. So I believe that should be ample time for Robertson to recover, but it's going to be touch and go.
Yeah, it's one of those fortunate situations that they do have 3 weeks, but how long can he practice for? Can he stay in game shape? That's those things that the coaching staff are going to have to weigh, and you know, they're fortunate in the coaches they have and the other guys on the bench that can step in and knock down shots. You speak about guys like Bruce, who tonight was able to knock down those shots, and he's got a lot of championship experience. So they've got the benefit of a deep bench, but hopefully Tyler can come back.
When we look at that ladder, Ariana, the Bullets finished 6-27, and of course the Kings 24-9. All that's led to be decided is 4th and 5th.
That's right. The Kings have just secured that top ladder spot, and it's so important to see who's going to win this next game.